Okay, so in case you are using VS Code, that would be fine. So, so do you have VS Code, Gita, uh, Rahul, and Nimesh, Vishwanath?
Yes, Samadhi.
Yes, I have.
Okay, okay, great, fine. Okay, so if you have, so you might be aware from the shortcut keys of VS Code. So it's a Control Shift P. If you click on that, if you are not aware from shortcut key, so there is one setting button only, left side, left down. So there is command palette. So if you click on that, so it is showing create a LWC component. But before creating LWC component, so what should I create here? I need to create a package. I need to create a project here. So I'll just select the empty one, and let me just select WebSFD's project. WebSFD's project training. Let me click on that. So let me just save this folder on the desktop. So it will automatically refreshed, and it is refreshed now. After 1-2 minutes, so now we are able to see we have package.xml. So if you know the deployment part, as we covered in last like in the previous earlier, we have done the XML file and all deployments part and all from Workbench and all. So if you are aware from all these things, then you might be aware from this one as well. So like package.xml is nothing. So in everywhere you will get this file, like for all the deployment step, like maximum, not all. So what it does, so let's say we need to add the component name which we want to deploy the component, we want to retrieve, we want to deploy. So that totally dependent on the package.xml file only. Okay, so package.xml, make sure that if you are using package.xml, then version should be this version should be latest. It should be latest version only. Then how we will get to know the what's the version do we have currently. So you can create new package.xml, then in the VS Code, then automatically you will get the 51 version automatically. In case you want to see from Salesforce side, so let's say there are lots of things in Salesforce to work bench Salesforce, we can say. So in the Workbench, if you go there, so then you also will get to know. So API version, so whatever latest version which we have, it's a 52 only, but yes, we'll go to 51 because one step later, like this version is about to come in Salesforce. But yes, 51 is already came in Salesforce. Whatever, this is oldest version. Salesforce started from version 8. Now we have 52 version. Okay, so similarly, so we'll go there and we can say it's a 51 version. So let's say if I want to retrieve all the things from the Salesforce side, let's say it's a star Apex class. If I'm writing star, so star means all the Apex classes it will retrieve from the database from the Salesforce side. So before doing all these things, what should I do? Like if I want to retrieve that data from the Salesforce side, I need to authorize the Salesforce with the uh, VS Code. So I'm going to SFDX authorize and or I'm clicking on this. Now it is asking us like where should I log in now? So should I log in production sandbox or custom URL? So I'll need to go to production, means it's login.salesforce.com. So shall I give any name for this? I can say dev.org. So this is my organ or anything you can give. So as per my understanding, I'm giving dev.org only. So now it will authorize, it will redirect us on the Salesforce side. Now it is authorizing. Let me click on this. Okay, so now it's authorized now. So it's saying it's authorized and work successfully run. Okay, so what should I do now? So if I want to create any Apex class, let me just show you before going to Lightning Web Component. Let me just show you the some other functionality. So let's say I'm going to create some Apex class. I'm writing SMDX. So whatever things we have, Apex trigger, Apex class, Visual Force page, everything you will get here. So let's say it's a class Apex class name. So I'm saying controller VS controller, it's Apex class name. Instead of going to developer console, we directly can create from here. So I'm going to create the Apex class now. So now this is my Apex. And the city is also joined. Okay, fine. So this is my class name. Okay, this class name this is my constructor automatically created. This is my VS controller, and this is my with sharing class. By default it is showing like with sharing. If I want to remove, I can remove, otherwise that's okay. So let's say I want to create some and let's say some annotation I want to use. I'm writing or enabled. So I'm not writing anything. So total line number of line is 7. I written this one, so all the lines will automatically come here. Automatically it is coming, because this VS Code is very useful in case of hint. We can say it is giving very good hint. So I'm writing the or enabled. So like automatically if it is or enabled is used, so definitely the static that should be static method, and there should be some method name. Okay, try catch is the best practice, then that's why they are adding the best practices. So let's say I'm saying some string and all, string str is equal to test or something like this only. Let's say I want to do some indentation as well. So this is the code is like this. I want to do indentation here. So what should I do here? I will no format of text. Okay, so it generally come from like a shift alt and F. So let me just check on code VS code indentation shortcut. So that is shift alt and F. Shift alt and F. Shift alt and F. No addition, no format is. So don't know what's the issue. Okay, no worry. So we'll do it. Might be there's some extension issue. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to write here. So this is my class, and in this class I'm writing like this and just saving the record. So what should I do now? So if I'll go to my Apex, if I'll go to my Salesforce side, and I'll check if there is any class or not. So as of now we have total 16 classes in the database. If I'll find out, nothing will be come here, right? So but yes, if I want to deploy this class, I can deploy it. I can right click anywhere on the screen. Okay, or else you can directly go to this like class. Else you can go to package.xml. Else you can go to default, like wherever you want to go. So you can go to there. So if you go to particular class, so what will be happen? What's the difference between clicking like different places? Because if you click on this one, definitely you are talking about only this class. If you are going to deploy only single class, definitely if you are going to click on single class, deploy the same thing. But yes, if you click on the package.xml and deploy the things, so whatever things you have inside the package, means if you have, apart from Apex class, you have multiple things as well, so everything will be deployed. Like for particular single class, you go to single class, you will deploy it. If you go to default, whatever things you have in this package, so everything will be deployed like a package.xml. So let me just deploy this one. So this will be deployed automatically after few seconds. So now it is showing some error. Where is the error? So it is showing missing the return type. Okay, so we should write the return type as well. So I can say it's a return type is return something like this. You can see, and let me deploy it again. Now it is deployed successfully. Okay, let me go to Salesforce. There is 16 class. Previously we have 16 class. Now it is 17 class. So if I'll check here, so we are getting this Apex class in this one. So whatever we written from the VS Code side. Okay, if I want to check the deployment status, whether this class is failed or passed, so I'll go to deployment. I'll go to deployment status. So now it is showing succeeded. Okay, if I'll click on view details, so it is showing one class was there and it is successfully passed. One class was there, it is successfully passed. Okay, deployment status. But yeah, whatever like we say in the same way, it's a 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. So it's a 6:59. Like return statement was missing, right? So let's check what was the error. Okay, it is showing missing the return statement string. Okay, so if I'll deploy anything, if I'll remove the things, if I'll remove anything, and if I'm adding something And after that, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to deploy it again. So there is syntax error. Definitely it won't be deploy, right? It won't be deploy. But yes, if you want to capture the things, it's whatever logical things you have. Same way, if I'll go to 7.1, so then it is showing there is whatever the error is. It doesn't matter what we are writing. It's a SDC. What's the SDC, right? So this is related to Salesforce, and this is your we can say this is VS Code. How can we deploy the things? How can we create the things and all these things? Okay, so similar way we have VS Code, and so on one way we can say that Salesforce, this Salesforce is used for sorry, VS Code is used for your LWC side only. But yes, apart from LWC, you can use there are lots of things like you can do coding and all. Okay, yeah, same way like VS Code is also used for deployment purpose. Okay, what we are doing here, we are deploying the things, right? We are deploying the things only. So how can we do? Let's say I have two system, and I want to deploy the code from one org to another org. Definitely I will take a retrieval. I will take the retrieval. After that I will deploy it in another org. Okay, first I will authorize with one org, and I will take a retrieval as per the package.xml, whatever I written the component names. I will take a retrieval. After that I will authorize with another org, because after retrieval I'll get up all the backup in the my local side, right, on my desktop, where I created this folder. Okay, this project web SFDC project training. So this thing will get there, and accordingly we can authorize with another org, and then we can deploy to another org. Okay, so that's the deployment process in the Salesforce with VS Code. Okay, so so if you want to, like, you might be aware from package.xml and all, but let me tell you one more thing, like few things, if you are aware or not, because some of the candidates are new in this one. Apex class, if I'll go to Apex class, let's say I want to retrieve this Apex trigger in the VS Code. Okay, so what will I do here? I'll remove the star. Instead of star, I'm writing like this. So I don't want other things. I don't want these things. I don't want these things. Let me just keep this Aura definition bundle and Apex class. Okay, and if I want to retrieve some other Apex class, let's say I'm saying my first batch class. So how will I write here? Let me just copy this one, paste like this. So if you have multiple classes you want to, so you can replace the name, and accordingly you can do the things. Let me just retrieve two Apex classes. Okay, two Apex classes. What will I do here? So I'll click on the retrieve button, and now we have two classes here. One is VS controller, only one class is only, right? So now as we added my first batch Apex and my account trigger. Okay, my first batch Apex and account trigger, we retrieved both the Apex classes. All right, so this is
Oh.
black. Yes,
ఎవరు సార్ బాగున్నాను సార్. సార్ నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను, నేను మీకు కాల్ చేయమంటారా మళ్ళీ?
okay, I think mistakenly he did. Okay, no way. Okay, so we are using this like this a deployment process, how we are doing now. Okay, so if you similarly, if you have multiple components, different components, you can accordingly you can add accordingly. If I want to retrieve all the Apex classes from the database, so what will I do here? I will write the star only, and I will write the star accordingly. I can retrieve the things. Let me just show you, and we can delete it from the backend. So we have total 17, 18 classes, right? So now, all the classes is there, right? All the classes there because I am written star here. Okay, let me go to local repository and go there, and where is web SFDC training, force app, main, default classes. So we have all these classes, right? So I don't want to keep all these classes. So I want to delete all the classes. So I'm deleting from the backend. So now we have nothing in the Apex. So we have only folder. So if I also want to delete this folder as well, so I can delete the folder as well. So we don't have any class now. So if I will do undo, if I'll do control Z, then you will get all the classes. Okay, but in our scenario we can delete it as of now. Okay. So hopefully everyone is understood like what I want to explain, right? Animesh, Geeta, and Sid, Rahul, Vishnu.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Amarjit.
Yes, sir.
Amarjit, can you just tell me why we use at Aura enabled keyword?
Yeah,
It is
sure.
keyword or annotation or something? Because I'm sorry, Amarjit, I missed that.
No,
I
no
joined
worry.
late.
No worry, no worry. Even I didn't tell till now. I will explain it. No worry.
Okay, thank you.
So Vishwanath, this is clear, right?
Abhay, yes.
Rahul bhai.
हाँ थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आ रहा, आज कुछ समझ में कम ही आ रहा
क्या हो गया आज? समझ रहा हूँ
कुछ
विषय में। ठीक है, समझ गया मैं। ठीक है, तो now we'll do one thing. We'll go to let's say if we want to create some LWC component here, Lightning Web component. So if I click on Shift Control P, so before going to LWC component, so let me tell you why do we use LWC component? What's the benefit of that? So first step, like first I will say if I'll compare the like for LWC is nothing. For UI perspective, we are using the LWC. So LWC we are using for your UI perspective. So why we are going to LWC if you already have Visual Force page or Lightning component? Okay, if I compare the Visual Force page with LWC, so Visual Force page is the oldest version, oldest way, not very much, but yes, we can say it's the oldest way to use in the Salesforce. Okay, but VS Code, sorry, LWC is very latest version. That's a, I can say the LWC is the future of Salesforce in Salesforce. Like if you know the LWC, then we can get a job easily. Even we can survive in job. And LWC is not a very tough like as compared to a Visual Force page is so easy. But yeah, VS Code, this is also quite complex as compared to Visual Force page. But yes, it's good. And if I'll tell you the benefit of the LWC as compared to Visual Force page, so Visual Force page is the oldest version in the Visual Force page. So firstly, like mobile user was facing lots of problem in Visual Force page that will not be automatically compatible with the system configuration and system like the screen. It won't, like it was not adjustable with the screen. If I was logging in the mobile and laptop and all, it was not very much responsive and dynamic. But in case of in Lightning Web component, so it's very quick responser. So what if you will do something, then it will give you the response quickly, and it is very faster as compared to Visual Force page. And it's totally, not totally, like maximum it's a client side controller we are using. So even we are using server side controller, so in a Visual Force page we are using only server side controller, not client side controller. So here we have two classes. One is JavaScript class, second is Apex class. And in the Visual Force page we have only Apex class which we are calling. In Visual Force page we directly can call Apex class directly in the Visual Force page. We can say there is one-to-one communication, but there are not one-to-one communication. It's a like if you want to go to HTML side, HTML part, so first you will go to your JavaScript. Let me just show you in the print. It's a web stack totally, like it's very quick response as compared to that. Even in one like few languages supported in the Visual Force page, there are lots of, like if any other developer is also coming to Lightning Web component, they also can do the things. If I'll compare, this is my Visual Force page. No, this is my Apex class, and this is Visual Force page. अरे यार, Apex class, ये पेज, and this is my LWC. do I VF. Okay. So this is my Apex class. Similarly, we have this is a similarity. It's Apex class there. So what about like which one is my? So we can say here we have backend logic. It's we can say server side. Server side. Okay. So it's a we can say it's a HTML. Okay. So we have server side HTML. Here we have this one is a server side. So we can say this is my HTML. We can say this is my HTML. Okay, so this is my JavaScript JS controller. And this is, we can say it's a client side controller. Client side controller. This is server side. This is also a controller. I can say it's a server side controller. This is client side controller. This is also a class. This is also class. This class is written in the Apex class, like in Oops concept. This class is totally in a work in a JavaScript. Apart from JavaScript, there is nothing there is nothing. So JavaScript we're using in this class, and there is totally HTML we are using here. But yeah, this is my CSS. If I want to add some other file, some designing part, and also I can add everything in the CSS file, and accordingly we'll create some classes and we can call in the HTML side. If I'll say the communication, so communication is there is one-to-one communication with Visual Force page, right? This is one-to-one communication. But in case of server side controller, so first we will do, there is one-to-one communication. We are calling from Apex class to HTML side. But in case of LWC, so we have Apex class. Apex class we can call in the JavaScript controller. We can call Apex class in JavaScript controller, not in HTML directly. That JavaScript controller we can call to in HTML. Okay, that CSS is also, we can CSS file, whatever we are creating for designing purpose perspective, so we can call in the HTML side. Okay, this is a flow. Like first we will go to HTML. In the Visual Force, it's very simple one-to-one communication. But in case of LWC, first we have to create Apex class with method, and that method we will create it, and then we can call that methods and Apex class in the JS controller, and JS controller, JavaScript controller we can call in the HTML side. These are HTML or LWC. And if we have some other CSS file and all, we directly can, this is not mandatory. CSS is not mandatory in this one, is optional, but yes, this is the file. Okay, this is a pack, this is a bundle, the bundle component. So we can call that CSS in HTML. Okay, so this is one package. This is a one package of Salesforce LWC. This is a one LWC component. But there is one more very important things is a or enable. So let's say if I created in a Visual Force page, I can create directly public void method name, and directly I can access that method in case of HTML side. In case of HTML side, but in case of LWC, that is not a public void will not never be work in case of LWC. In this LWC, so what should we have? There is one annotation. So if there is a aura enabled, so this is a method, and it should be a static method. It should be a static method, or enabled static method, and with or enabled, so we should have catchable is equal to true. So I can write like this. So this is linked. This is like after this aura enabled. So there is parameter. Okay. So this is cacheable equal to True. So if I'm using Aura enabled in this one, then I can access this method in the like JS side. If I'm not using, let's say mistakenly I forget this one, so then it won't be able to read our method. So this is an annotation in Salesforce in Apex class. If I'm writing the Aura enabled annotation, that time we can say we can call this Aura enabled in Lightning component or Lightning Web component. And what about cacheable true? Cacheable true is not used in case of Lightning component, Aura component, but yes, it is used in the Lightning Web component. So cacheable true means if I'm using cacheable true, it means, let's say there is very good example of cacheable true. Let's say I'm in a VS Code, this is VS Code and this is Salesforce. So I created one component on the Salesforce. What I'm trying to do here, I'm deploying this component to the Salesforce side and I'm refreshing the page. So that time what will happen, it might take some time to bring the proper result. 5 seconds, not in minutes, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 2 seconds. First time it will take time. Again, if I will open this page again, then it will respond quickly in microseconds. It will respond